Hello, my name is Benny King, and I'm going to try to give an abbreviated version of what I feel like God wants me to talk about. And I got my I'm on a mission from God t-shirt on. I like t-shirts. So uh, I've got autonomic nervous system failure caused by COVID. I was working around in laboratories. I'm a journeyman plumber, and I was working around laboratories at WSU, Spokane campus, and I was working almost every day by lab techs and students that were from China. So I'm guessing I got it. I would have got it from someplace, but that's where I think I got it, and I got it early. I would say, I got sick and didn't know what was going on, neither did the doctors, but looking back, I would say it was probably the first week of January of 2020. That's when I started really getting sick and having some odd symptoms that now go to COVID type of things. I had flu-like symptoms, and I was coughing like mad and hacking up big ugly things and having trouble breathing. Felt like I couldn't get enough air, and I was seeing stars and auras and blacking out. And where most people lost their scent, being a plumber my whole life, I could hardly smell anything. But when I had COVID, I was smelling everything too much. I would go into an elevator or a small room, and I couldn't breathe. The body odors, and it was just overwhelming. And sense of taste, everything tasted great, except I was so sick. I didn't want to eat anything, but that was an odd backwards one. And I've got hearing aids now because the autonomic nervous system failure has a lot of different things, but I'm losing my hearing and my eyesight, and we'll get on to some other things. But when I had COVID in me and it was working on me, I was hearing things, and it wasn't like I was imagining it. I could hear voices way down the hall or something, or I'd hear there'd be a fan running or mechanical something, and it would sound like music to me. I thought, I'm hearing music somewhere, and I'd walk around and trace it down, and it was just a fan. And I wasn't, my mind was playing tricks on me, so there, all of the different things that people had when you had COVID, I had all that stuff. And but I was one of the first people that I heard about anyway. I had Kaiser Permanente, and I had a really good doctor, and I made lots of trips into him, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm really sick. I used up all my sick leave, but I was working on a big project, had to go to work, wanted to be at work, wanted to try to get this project done. But I was so sick, and I told everybody at work, I'm sick, I don't know what's wrong with me. I was accused of being drunk. I said, no, I'm not drunk. I'm on drugs for ADHD and different things and anxiety, but this was just, it's a sickness. There's something wrong with me. And Kaiser Permanente, my doctor, they tried every antibiotic they could, and nothing was affecting it. And it just kept going and going. And finally, we got the announcement, on the news about COVID, and I fit all the parameters. That's what I had. That's what my doctor thought too. And when I was finally eligible for a nose swab, it was negative. So everything was new with this at that time. So the actual COVID virus doesn't stay in you. That's why I don't like the term long COVID. You get COVID, it does its damage, and then you either die or your body, your immune system fights it off, and that's what mine did. So I probably had 25 negative tests for 3 years, but I had the antibody blood test, and it showed that my blood had the antibodies from the original COVID SARS-2 virus. That was the bad one, and everybody else who had it and was having troubles or dying or dead from it, it had attacked their heart or their lungs, pulmonary or cardiology stuff. And so I kept passing out all the time and hurting myself. I had 2 major surgeries because I fell and hurt myself, and badly. And so I finally I was into the emergency room several times, emergency clinics, back to my doctor. And finally, they started sending me to cardiologists, and I think I saw 5 different cardiologists, and none of the very last one he thought it might be my nervous system, and I didn't understand how that could be or what it was. But I also saw two pulmonary people, and the good news of all this is that everybody said, you have a great heart. See, and one of the cardiologists, he gave me my EKG, read out, says, you've got a great heart. And I said, would you write that on there? And so I actually have that copy with his sign saying that I have a great heart. So that's proof that I do, And I also have good lungs. I can talk a lot. I have proof of that. But I was then referred to a neurologist, and a very nice one, Dr. Perry, I think, Jennifer Perry. And she diagnosed me with autonomic nervous system failure. And it used to be a very, very rare disease. It would only attack people who already had some other nervous system problems like MD or MS, something like that, Parkinson's. But I didn't have any of those things. So the only other way you can get that is through a virus. And there's a history of it, very slim, but in the past, people have gotten it, they had gotten some kind of virus, and it attacked their nervous system and did this. So I definitely had COVID, and now my nervous system was failing, and it keeps failing, and there's no cure. And because this is a new virus, and there's not a lot of statistics on it yet, but I've talked to everybody I can, universities, clinics, Mayo Clinic, Mount Sinai, UW, Stanford, Cleveland Clinic. They're all of them are dealing with people just like me. They said, well, we can't help you because we are too booked up. But if it makes you feel better, you are not the only one. And they all said that we think that everybody has what they're calling long COVID right now is they're having the effects from what the COVID did originally to them, and they're coming to them, and it turns out they have some kind of nervous system damage. And most of them, I think, have what I have, the autonomic nervous system failure. I don't have POTS. There's a lot of different things, but so I'm losing my eyesight, losing my hearing. Almost every time I get up, I have to do it very slowly, hang on to things. If I get up too quickly and move too quickly, I'll black out, I'll pass out. And I can, if I take it easy, I can get up, I can go outside, maybe do a few little chores for 15 minutes or so, and then I'll start seeing stars again. If I don't just lay down on the ground right away, I'll pass out. And so my heart, the autonomic nervous system controls your breathing, your heart, your blood pressure, all kinds of things. And mine's not working, so you can only go on with this for so long. I've read from several of the experts on it. They say from the time you start showing symptoms, which I did right away back in 2020, that average person has, I think they said 6 to 8 years. I'm coming up on 4 now, and I had to quit work. I lost my job at WSU. I tried to get some other jobs, couldn't get any other jobs. WSU said you shouldn't hire me because I was crazy. They even said I attacked 2 supervisors, made up a story about me, which is not true. But I couldn't get unemployment. They kept me from that. I couldn't get disability. Couldn't get another job. So I went back to work for myself. And I made it. Oh, it was so hard. I was passing out in people's houses. I'd be on the floor twitching, and I'd feel like I was having a heart attack and just sweating like mad. And finally, I couldn't work anymore. And so all of 2023 this year, I quit. The only thing I have is partial Social Security. I'm 63, so I took early Social Security. I spent whatever retirement I had and sold everything I had just to try to live. But that's where I'm at right now. So that's not the main reason I'm talking to you, but I want you to know heaven is real to me. I know that unless I get healed, there is no cure for this, and I could die tonight, I could die tomorrow, I might make it 2 more years, but when I'm really having a hard time, when I've overdone it a little bit, and I'm laying on the ground, I'm ready to die. It feels like I'm going to die. And if I sit around and I rest long enough, I feel pretty good. I think, well, yeah, I could make it a lot longer. But then I get up and go do something, and I realize probably not. So I have been a follower of Jesus as far back as I can remember, I think my whole life. And it helps that I was born in America, and I was born in 1960, where I watched cartoons about Davy and Goliath, and everybody who was not a Christian, who did not believe in God in 1960, if you were born in America, everybody did, and not so much now, I think, but I have worked with young kids and teenagers my whole life. I've been to Bible college a couple of years, and community colleges and different things, and I got ordained once, and I was a chaplain for Spokane Juvenile Detention for about 25 years, and I got a lot of hard questions from these kids, and so I feel like I've learned a lot, from trying to answer these questions of these kids, and for my own life, and so since I could die anytime, I've been trying to share some of these things, but I could write a book. I could write probably several books. I just don't have it in me, I don't want to die without giving you just a couple simple things, okay? We're going to leave any problems you have with God, Jesus, church, Christians, if you could just put that on the shelf. I haven't been to church in quite a while. I have ADHD, severe ADHD. I have dyslexia, dyscalculia, which is numerical dyslexia. I have anxiety, but I'm also smart. I'm a Mensa member, and I see things differently. Everybody's been telling me I was different my whole life. I didn't believe them. I didn't find out about the ADHD or dyslexia until I was my late 50s, working at WSU, and it was a surprise and a shock, but it was also a relief to find out, why I saw everything different my whole life, and why I got in trouble, why I got arrested, why I spent a year locked up, why I work with juveniles, And I'm very sorry for the things I did and mistakes I've made through my life, but I have honestly tried to make up for that and just do the best I can. And I care about people, care about kids, and I care about you if you're watching this. I love people. Something's making noise around her. Hopefully it's okay. Halloween was last night. It's probably something. Probably the washing machine is what I guess. But anyway, what I would tell these kids, and that's kind of, you're not kids, but I'm a kid. I'm 63 years old. I do not feel a bit different than I did when I was 6 years old, As far back as I can remember, which is probably 4 or 5, I am still that same person. You are who you are. You can't change who you are, You need to be yourself, because nobody else can be you. Each one of us are completely and uniquely different. We have similarities. We're human beings, all created by the same design, the same DNA type of things, but from your DNA to your eyes, your heart, everything, we are all individual people, and we're important. We're not accidents. I was always told I was an accident. My mom had 4 kids and had gone 9 years without having any more, and she didn't want any more. She didn't want me, and there was situations in my house that I think she was probably going to leave once my next oldest 9-year-old brother was old enough, and then I came along. So I caused a lot of strife in the household just being there. But I was so cute and smart and such a nice guy. You kind of had to love me. But I definitely was told all the time that I was an accident, but I didn't care. I was always a shrimp until about high school, and got beat up all the time. But most of my memories are just great. I didn't have a relationship at all with my mom and dad or my brothers or sisters, but I had good friends. I enjoyed life. I saw God's creation as a wonderful place to be, and as long as I could stay away from the bullies, I had a great time growing up. But yeah, I was different. Looking back now, I was really different. But a lot of people were nice to me, and I had friends, and I am glad that I was born. I'm glad my mom and dad had an accident. Very glad. And if you're not born, then you don't exist. God created everything. I believe that, and He made us to be creators like Him. We can create other human beings. It's not an accident. We do it on purpose, and maybe we regret it. Maybe we didn't want to make a baby. We were just having fun because God made sex fun, yeah, for everybody, animals, plants, us, fish, everybody. Everybody wants to procreate, and I don't think we'd do it if it wasn't fun. It's not that much. Another symptom of what I have is I've had ED for like 4 years. I've got 20 different system failures going on in my body. All the lights are going off. Warning, system failure. But if it wasn't so much fun, it's just built into us. We wouldn't probably be wouldn't be trying to procreate so much. But I think I don't want to cause people to turn away from me or God or anything else. But I think there might be less abortions if we knew how special each and every person was. As science goes on, we learn that you can hear the heartbeat, identify things. I learned, because of my heart problems, that every single person has a unique heartbeat, and it's identifiable by microphones from a distance. I think I posted an article, I might post it again, about a company that is designing systems to identify people by their heartbeat. and all they need is a few seconds, and you go into the system, just like your eye, everybody's eyes. I love facial recognition. I've got my new iPhone here, 15, and it's great. I don't have to sign in anymore. It's got my face in there. But they can do that by your heartbeat. Your DNA, just everybody's DNA is different, and we're all unique. And maybe we wanted to have sex, but we didn't want to have a baby. But that's not an accident. You wanted to have sex, and that's the result of what happens. And you've created a unique individual. And if you end that individual's life, that individual will not be born. I don't know if they'll go to heaven or not, or eternity. I just know that I have value, and I've been told my whole life that I do not have value. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure I do. I am an optimist. I believe I have a lot of value. And as a plumber, working for customers for 25 years, working for the state, I solved all kinds of problems. I did stuff other people couldn't do, and I proved that I have great value. God made me this way. I see things, I see how they work, I see how they don't work, I can fix them, and I miss that. That was, I know God loves me no matter what, but I got a lot of my worth from being able to do those kind of things, and I can't do them anymore. But each person has value. It doesn't matter if they're handicapped, or if they're Downs, or if they're smart, or they're slow, or whatever. Everybody has value, and we shouldn't be ending their lives earlier than we should. And same with war. There's always been war. There always will be war. There are bad people out there. I love being alive. I love being on this planet. I love all the things that God blesses me with. But there's still bad people. There's a lot of bad people. Bad people suck. Mean people suck, yes. And there's wars and killing. And I'm so glad I didn't have to kill anybody. I've tried never hurt anybody in my life. And I don't think I have physically. I'm sure that I've hurt people's feelings because I have a weird sense of humor. And I see the way things are, and sometimes I speak that out, and I shouldn't. And I'm sorry about that. Sorry for anybody's feelings I've hurt. But I have tried not to hurt anyone if I can, physically or mentally. And but trust me, there's plenty of mean people out there. I've been bullied my whole life. I believe that I lost my job because of mean people and bullies, and didn't understand me, didn't understand why I had my value. I even told them that. I said, you don't value me. You don't understand the value that I bring. And they didn't. And but I just want to say there are no accidents. You're not an accident. I'm not an accident. We are valuable. Everybody's valuable. And so what's being taught in school now is that everyone's an accident. The earth is an accident. The animals are an accident. We do not have a soul. We do not have a spirit. When we die, that's the end. And that's just not true. Just think for yourself. Just look around. You don't have to be a Mensa member or genius. You just go outside and look around. Look at the clouds. Look at the sky, look at the grass, the trees, look at the weather patterns. Do some studying about the miraculous world we live in. And, you know, the kids in school are being taught that evolution is true because their teachers were taught that because they're still teaching it in college. It's a whole system, you know. But the actual real scientists that are not teaching people, but are making discoveries and working on super colliders and the quantum physics and mechanics people and all these people, they have been preaching for years that this is a created universe. We are created. As soon as the DNA code came out, every single plant, animal, everything that's alive has a like a UPC code in them that says "made by God," you know, and we can recreate it and do stuff with it. And it's ridiculous to think that any of this happened by accident or that it's being maintained on its own somehow. No. So that's the first thing. You are important. You're here for a reason. What's the reason you're here for? Well, I would say, first off, look around and say, hey, you know what? This is not an accident. This is a miracle. Who made it? Why did they make it? Why am I here? That's your first thing. Think of being on, if you just woke up on a spaceship, and that's kind of what we are. We're a big spaceship, and we're traveling through the galaxy. We're going around. We're spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. Our hair should be, well, I don't have any hair, but if I had hair, it should be blowing back. We don't feel it. The atmosphere moves with the planet. The atmosphere is a miracle. It's amazing. The whole weather system and clouds and how it all circulates and moves and is held together. If we didn't have clouds and atmosphere, the sun would burn us up. We'd be like every other planet, you know? This is no accident, okay? Look around. We're not only spinning 1,000 miles per hour, we get confused with time and movement. Time is movement. The way we talk about time and measurement is I was born on June 5th, 1960. Boom, that's time. And I know how many birthdays I've had, a lot. And there's a clock on the wall. It's all based on how many times is the Earth rotating, you know, in a, we divide it up into 24 hours, and it takes 1,000 miles an hour to get the Earth to spin, and it hasn't changed as far as we know, not by that clock. But there are other precision clocks that it's amazing that it just keeps spinning like that. And the whole planet is traveling around the sun at about 1,000 miles per hour. We don't feel that either. We should be feeling the Earth move under our feet, you know, and we should be feeling this zipping through space around the sun, and we call that time because it is. It's all this is created. Time is created. And Einstein proved, and all scientists since then have proved over and over again that we always just think of it as nothing. It's just a word. Time is just a word. No, it's a thing. Time is a created thing, and it acts one way on our planet, acts a different way on other planets. It depends on the speed you're traveling, the mass you have, all kinds of things. And time can be manipulated because it's a real thing, okay? It's a created thing. It's part of our universe. It's amazing. But when you leave this time, you're here for a short time, very short time. I may only be here a little bit longer. 63, that's pretty good. 40 years ago, that would be a long life, and I'm happy for the life I've had. But I may only have a year, two left, that's a short time. It has gone by so fast. Now, when I was a kid, it seemed like it was going really slow. A day lasted a long time. Summer vacation lasted a long time. I can't believe all the stuff I did when I was a kid in one day, Now, it's like I get up, I take a shower, and Barb's going to be home, and that's about a day, And the older you get, the faster it seems to go, but it's just your perception of it is what's changing. And as I get close to the end of my time, God didn't want me to die. It wasn't my fault that they built this biological weapon of mass destruction in labs in China, and I was working around Chinese people, lab techs, and I got it. I'm sure we do the same thing here, There's a lot of bad people out there that want to knock everybody off, and that's what this was. Whether it was on purpose or an accident, it was created on purpose. It got to me somehow, and now I'm dying, But it's all part of life. Everybody is born. Everybody lives a life. Everybody dies, and it's short. I think that, and I believe, just like all other Christians should believe, that when I die, I'm going to go to heaven, and heaven is described as its eternity. So on earth, we have a limited amount of created time. It's not infinite. So heaven is also not infinite time. It's no time. It's eternity, which there is no time. No more whatever heaven is like, and I don't think anybody knows what it's going to be like. It is also created, but it has no time in it. It's not part of it, And that's how God can be everywhere at once. That's how, when we get there, we can be everywhere at once, because we're no longer limited by a real thing we call time. We can be the only thing that keeps me from being here and across town or other side of the world is time. It takes time for me to get there. So if there's no time, I can be everywhere at once. And I'm looking forward to that, but I appreciate the time that I have experienced here on earth. I appreciate all the blessings I've had, and my wife and my kids and my grandkids, and I have just enjoyed the heck out of being alive. I've tried to make the most of it all the time, still am. And I believe that once I die and go to eternity, I'm still going to be the same person I am. I don't think I'm going to have the same body, but my consciousness, who I am, I believe will carry on. And I will not be able to make a difference back here on earth. I don't believe in ghosts, I believe that heaven is all around us. It's close by. It's like a parallel dimension. It's more real than the creation is, But I believe that it's all around us. I believe once I get there, I'll be able to turn around and see my life as a moment, see it all at once, see it from the eternal perspective, and yours and everybody else's too. But I can't change that. I can only do my good deeds or bad deeds or whatever I'm going to do while I'm in time. Same with you. What you do today, what you say today, how you treat people, the good things you do. You care about people. I care about you. I can only do that here when I'm in time. And it's a very, very short time. So, number one, look around, figure out where you're at. Why are you here? Just to be here. Bloom where you're planted. I know that my perspective on life is optimistic, and because I was born in America, and I've been blessed with so many things. Now, if I was living in a prison camp, or if I was forced into working in a diamond mine in Africa, I might feel differently about how great life is. But I'm sorry, from my point of view, life is pretty darn great. Even though I'm dying, even though I've been accused of things, and it's still a pretty great place. And I'm trying to make the best of it where I'm at, I think that I don't think you have to become a missionary and travel around the world and be Mother Teresa or whatever. I think you start right where you're at, and the people around you, the people the people you meet. There is plenty of opportunities to do right and wrong every day, and if you do that every day, and you talk to God every day, and you have this great relationship with the Lord like I do, and I hear from the Lord all the time. I pretty much know right from wrong, but so do you. We all know right from wrong. We all know what's good and what's bad. We all know who the mean people are and who the nice people are. We do not. The Bible says that we are without excuse because of creation. If you look around at creation, there has to be a creator. Why are you here? Why are you here? What are you supposed to do here? You're supposed to figure out the right things to do. You're supposed to be good. You're supposed to do the best you can wherever you're at. That's why you're here, because life is short, and you're going to be in eternity, okay? And you will look back and say, oh, I wish I had done things differently. I wish I had done more of this and less of that. That's what you're here for, and it's amazing. there's no way we can understand the Creator. Is so far beyond us. When we see him, it says we'll be like him, we'll know then. But at this point, living inside of time, most people can't even comprehend living outside of time, and I do. I believe God has showed me that, and lots of other people. It just makes sense. And so I guess my message to you is, don't kill people, don't be mean, be a nice person, do the best you can, right where you're at. If you've treated everybody nice in your little circle, God will move you out a little bit further. You don't need to go looking for something. And I'm sorry if you've had a bad experience with church or Christians or your parents or whatever. We're all in the same boat. I've had plenty of problems, but I choose to be thankful. I choose to believe that I am not an accident, and neither are you, and that I have value and you have value, and I'm going to try to live my life the way I think God wants me to until I die, which could be very soon, and then I'm going to go to eternity. And everybody who's ever died believing what I believe, at least, and maybe everybody, I don't know, but I know that if you die and go to eternity, which I believe is true, we're all going to be there at the same time. There's no time. We're not going to. When I was the juvenile, I'd show a little slide of a guy playing a harp, an angel. He's got an angel. He's playing a harp. He's sitting on a cloud. He's kind of bored. That's not what it's going to be. Okay, angels are different than people. Angels are servants and messengers, and I believe they're around us all the time. I think I keep my guardian angel busy all the time, for sure. But it's not going to be boring. Just time is not going to be there. It's going to be mind blowing without time. It's going to be the way you were made. I believe that because I asked Jesus to forgive my sins, and I've done the best I could in my life, and I admit that I have messed up lots of times, but I just love God and I just trust him, and I believe that I am going to die pretty quick, and I'm going to be instantly in eternity. And so is your grandma and my mom, my dad, all kinds of people, Moses, everybody, in Hebrews 11, it names all these people throughout history that we know were pretty good guys, did the best they could. And it says that they are all, by faith, going to heaven, And then in Hebrews 12, it says, because we are surrounded by these people, by this great crowd of witnesses, try to do a good job. Don't mess up. Don't lose faith. Don't get tired in the race. Run the race because you have a goal, and your goal is to just do the best you can, and be nice to people. And I think going to church is a good deal. I went to church for a long time. I went to Bible college. Then I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I need to go out and just be good. Just go start helping people. I've read the Bible many times. I think you should read the Bible, okay? But don't let anything be a stumbling block. You're smart enough to figure this out. Just look around, understand that everything is created and it's miraculous, and you got a short time. What are you going to do? What's your job? Be good. Help people. I've tried to be helpful. I've tried to help all the people I can. I'm trying to help you right now, okay? Eternity's coming, and there'll be no time. You won't be able to change anything. That's it. So I love you guys, and we'll see you soon.